Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to another Wednesday Wins. If you don't know who I am Diana Lidstone. I am the founder of the CEO Freedom Academy. So, today's topic, what's keeping you stuck, isn't what you probably think it is. It was precipitated by a conversation that I had last evening at a networking event. So, here's where we're going to go with this. I'm going to show you 8 ways that a particular type of thinking might be keeping you stuck. And this is what I mean. I meet tons of expert founders. What do I mean by experts? I mean, they are bookkeepers, accountants, they're lawyers, maybe they're executive coaches. And what I hear them saying is, well, I'm just a bookkeeper. I am just an accountant. I am just, you fill in the blanks, right? I am just. And unfortunately, that is what is known as either technician thinking or operator thinking. In other words, as an expert founder, you're thinking that your job is really just to do the bookkeeping or just to do whatever it is, that skill that you have, that expertise that you have. And that feels great. It feels safe, but that's a trap. And it's really a trap because it ignores what I call the other side of the coin. Your business is like a coin. There are two sides to it. There is your expertise, and on the flip side is the business of business. And expert founders often get into the trap where they think that it's just about hustling to get more clients. Okay. And that technician thinking, that hustling thinking keeps them stuck at their revenue plateau in a number of ways. And I'm going to share with you 8 different ways. So, number one is I see too many of these technicians billing by the hour. So, that means they're trading time for money. Trading time for money keeps a cap on what you can earn because there's only so much time out there in a day. You get paid for the work and then you do more work. That is technician thinking or operator thinking, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Trading time for money. But CEO level thinking is about how can I leverage my time so that I can earn more money. So leveraging. Um, Technician thinking is about, just surviving the day, the week, the month, whatever. CEO is about that leverage, okay? And building a business that has leverage in it. So that's the first, trading time for money. The second is I had this conversation again this morning with a client. Low confidence in pricing. So I'm just going to say, let's say that you're a lawyer. And maybe you're thinking, if I charge more, my clients will leave. Well, maybe they will. But what if you doubled your rate? You could serve half as many clients and still make the same money. And those people that are willing to pay you that higher fee, they're willing to pay you, they are probably your best ever clients. So, let's say you're a lawyer or an accountant and you're currently charging, I don't know, I'll say $250 an hour for advisory work or consultations. What do you think those big firms are charging out people at? Probably $1,000. And there are people willing to pay that. So level up, don't discount yours, and don't apologize, God forbid, for your prices. Keep pushing your pricing up. And when you double your prices or when you push the pricing, that margin up and people just keep paying it willingly, then you know you still got room to push it up even more. Okay, so we've talked about don't trade time for money and low confidence in pricing. Number 3 is technician thinking keeps you being the bottleneck in your business. Every single decision relies on you. Nothing can happen in your business unless you make the decision. That is being the bottleneck. You do the work, you check the work, you double check the work, you fix the work. That's being a bottleneck. That's why you're exhausted. If nobody can replace you, then it's not really a business. You've built a job, J-O-B for yourself. CEO thinking is about building capacity. Technician thinking is building dependency. So even though you might be a solopreneur, how can you look at your business? This is what I challenge my clients to all the time. I even challenge myself to do this. How can I make this, whatever I'm doing, so that it is an easily repeatable process? So for instance, for years, I've been doing strategy sessions, okay, with individuals, VIP, jumpstart days, whatever you want to call it. And in those, I typically ask the same questions over and over and over again to pull out information from clients. The other day I went, Diana, why don't you put this on paper and have them do this as pre-work? Okay. It no longer requires me asking the questions. They can answer the questions because I've built a system. Okay. So stop being the bottleneck in your system. Here's a 4th way that technician or operating thinking keeps you stuck, because it keeps you stuck in reaction mode as opposed to proactive. So many business founders are just constantly reacting. They're answering emails, they're putting out client fires, they're, whatever is the most pressing, that's what they're doing. Okay. So that means that there's no plan. They don't know what the priorities are. And they're definitely in their calendar. There's no white space. There's no freedom to pause and think and be strategic. So reactive thinking is a factor in keeping entrepreneurs stuck. Here's number 5, saying yes to the wrong clients. Well, one of the things that I do is teach my clients how to say no to those, lovingly, I will call them pain in the ass clients. Yes, when you're starting out in business, yes, you have to take clients and you won't know that they're pain in the ass until you've, worked a number of years. And yes, sometimes to grow your business, you take these clients. But I'm not talking about you as a newbie. I'm talking about you that already has some level of success, right? You need to know who to say no to. A client isn't just a client. A client can be energy sucking. They can be, if they don't pay their bills on time, they're money sucking, they're joy sucking. You don't want those clients. You want clients who make you feel good after spending time with them. You want clients who are going to get the best kind of results. Okay. So saying yes to the wrong clients will keep you stuck. Here's another one. Confusing busyness, running around like a chicken with your head cut off, with progress. Are you spending a lot of time doing virtual coffees with all kinds of people? Yes, you may be building a great network and whatever, but there's no ROI in it. That's busyness, right? A full calendar and an empty bank account. That's not good for business. So how can you look at what you were doing on a daily basis, daily, weekly, monthly, and is it providing a return on investment? Is it providing a return on investment? Everything you do, your marketing, your sales conversations, what's your sales conversion rate? What if you're spending time on social media? Is it actually bringing you clients? So busyness is not the same as progress. And it reflects also in the type of where you're spending your time, what types of activities you are doing. Are you spending an adequate amount of time doing the right kind of marketing? Are you nurturing your list? What is the one type of marketing that consistently brings you clients? Just food for thought. Here we are, 2 more to go. What keeps you stuck? Could be avoiding leadership, discomfort, having difficult conversations with team members, not having clear expectations. And when I mean clear expectations for team, is it written down? Are the expectations quantified? It's not just, are you going to do a good job? What is the number? What is that metric that each team member must have? You are the leader of your business. That is your primary role, to lead your business, to lead your team. And your team's role is to help you fulfill the vision that you have for your business. So you have the vision, you lead them towards that vision. Okay. And sometimes there are hard conversations or difficult conversations. And last but not least, do you have a business that depends solely on you to function? In other words, if you take 6 weeks vacation, what happens? What happens when you take 6 weeks vacation? Does your business continue to function? If you have no systems, no structure, it's really difficult to exit and take the time off. You see, because that, again, isn't a business, it just becomes a demanding job. Now, I just want to pause here before I finish up, is that if you find yourself in this technician mode or way of thinking or operator, it's not wrong. It's just the place that you might get stuck. And what happens is you don't want to stay there for very long, because smart, capable founders, if you stay stuck in technician thinking, that's when you find that you're overworked, underpaid, underprofited, whatever it happens to be. Yes, you must have an expertise and a certain level of expertise and get a certain level of results for your clients. But remember, CEO thinking asks different questions. CEO thinking designs before doing. It leads instead of rescues. It builds a business that supports your life and not consuming it. So for those of you who are listening or who this resonates with, if this is hitting a little too close to home, then this is what we talk about in the CEO Freedom Academy. And if you'd like to know more about it, I'm going to put across the screen here how we can have a conversation. And it's just a conversation. If we aren't a good fit, if I don't think that I can help you shift out of technician mode into CEO mode, then, that's okay. Maybe I can find another resource for you. So if you are listening now, I have just shared 8 different ways that a specific type of thinking can keep you stuck in your business, can keep you stuck in a revenue plateau, can keep you stuck from moving the needle in your business. So love to hear your comments below. Thanks so much for listening. This is another Wednesday Wins. And you can also go to my YouTube channel where you can catch up on some of the previous ones. Take care. Have an amazing, amazing week. And we'll see you next Wednesday at noon. Bye for now.